Well, good morning, everybody. This is old Uncle Randy, and I am super excited because we're finally getting back on the air. And this is coming to you live. Well, live but recorded. That's what we simply say. Recorded but live, live but recorded. But we're going to be all over the place here in southeast Wisconsin. We are located in Lake Geneva, and we're going to be traveling later today. But this is going to be a super excited show that if you haven't been watching or listening in the past years, you know, the COVID sort of, they put a dent in our style in terms of travel and our lifestyle. But now we're up and going again, and this is the Happy Hour Lifestyle Show. And if you want to find out where we're located to watch, we have our own Roku channel now, and that's on Excited Minds Media or Live Eco Style. You can download both of those, take it right to your TV and watch it at your convenience. Or we're on about 19 different podcast platforms like iHeart, Spotify, and all the big ones. So anyway, enough of that. We're happy to be back on air, and of course we are supported by our own companies and our websites. The two big websites we have are Live Eco Style, where we celebrate all the good things in life, meaning dining, sipping, travel, health, recreation, family, and spas. And then the Distillery Channel is a real interesting website where on there we talk about dining, sipping, travel, but also get into a little bit more of the small craft industry. And that leads us into golf because, you know, golfers golf and then they sip, as we say. But today's going to be really interesting because we're now located in our bunker here in southeast Wisconsin. And we're happy to be here. You might hear the fans playing in the background, cooling us down, keeping the wine cool in our wine cooler and making sure that it's the right temperature. But it's really lovely. It smells great. And we're, again, going to be traveling today. We're going to be going out to a coffee shop in town that we've become great friends with. And it's going to be we're going to be doing part of the show from there because I like to drink coffee. And also what they do is, just to give you an idea here, is that they are also a wine bar. It's called Niche. And it's just right at the entrance to the big golf resort out in the west end of Lake Geneva, Geneva National. And it's just a great place because you can go in there and you can drink all kinds of coffee, but then they have all kinds of wines and bourbons and many, many different things. It's a great place to go and just hang out. We spend a lot of time there, and because it's a lot of fun. Heather will be joining us later as we travel out there in the next couple hours, but you can certainly see it's wine and spirits and coffee. And then generally on the weekend, they have some great music that comes in. So if you haven't visited Niche on the west side on Route 50, right by Geneva National, it should absolutely be on one of your to-dos when you come to the Lake Geneva area. Also this afternoon, we're going to be talking with a renowned author, Art Strickland. Art has written 10 books, including Links, Lore, and Legends, The Story of Texas Golf, Thanks for the Memories, The Story of Northwood Club, Hacker to Hero, and 100 Years of the Dallas Athletic Club. He has been on several shows with us. Art is a great guy. He's well known nationally. He's won all kinds of awards. But Art comes from Texas, and we love to travel with Art, and we want to thank him for getting back in the saddle. So this afternoon, when we venture to Niche, he'll be coming on, and we'll be talking about the Players Tournament Championship going on right now in Ponte Vedra. What a great place. If you've never gone to Ponte Vedra to go see the Tournament Players Championship, put it on your to-do list. It is just a few miles away from St. Augustine, the heart of St. Augustine, where you can go there. And there's great distilleries. St. Augustine Distillery is there, one of our good friends. But it's just so historic, one of the oldest communities in the country. But then when you get to TPC Sawgrass, not a blade of grass is ever out of place. It's so well run, so beautiful. What a great day. And this weekend, they're expecting great weather. So take time to watch it. We're going to have some fun facts we're going to be talking about pertaining to that infamous Island Green, the 17th hole. And over the years, they've counted up how many balls that the professionals hit into the water. But wouldn't it be interesting if we knew what Alice Dye's demonic note to her husband Pete when they were designing the course? How many golf balls go for a swim every year just due to the amateurs playing there? And remember, when you go there, if you want to play it, you can play the course. They do have some off-hour rates around $600, but your preferred tee time rates are around 900. So save up your nickels and dimes, but it's a great day of play, and it's a wonderful thing to do. Other sponsors we have in the show are Bloody Buddy. It's a mix. It's a Bloody Mary mix. It's incredible out of Texas. It's just an incredible drink, and I wish I had taste division so that we could taste that a little bit along with it. In addition to that, what we want to do is that we want to make you aware that we are engaging in helping people get their own Roku channels. So we, on our channel, on Excited Minds Media on Roku, you're going to find not only us and our productions, but you're going to find productions on there like Green Adventures, Tara, who is just an amazing individual, a leader of just groups all through the year, going from Mount Kilimanjaro to swimming with the sharks and kinds of underwater animals down in Mexico to going to Alaska. Iceland is her favorite place to go, and she has several videos up on our Live Eco Style website that you can go and check in and listen to. And by the way, a lot of our partners are right on Live Eco Style, our Eco Minutes. They are the CEOs, the leaders, and the entrepreneurs around the world who we sat and interviewed and had them tell us their stories about their travel destinations. And we know that a lot of people are very, very eco-minded today. So understand that our things have evolved. We now have countless millions of people that watch us around the world. We now are featured in somewhere between 23 to 70 countries and growing. Our Roku channels are easy to find, as we say. We're also on Amazon Fire, and it's going to be fun getting out on the road. So later this afternoon, I'm going to pack up here in just a few minutes, and I'm going to head out to Niche Cafe and Wine Bar. It's going to be a fun afternoon. I'm going to take my portable kit out there, and we're going to sit and talk to Heather, who is the manager. She is just a delight. And we're going to have some fun this afternoon. We know that there's going to be some people joining us in the crowd. And I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, it's old Uncle Randy signing off right now. And we'll be back soon, coming from our portable media equipment. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, we'll be right back. Talk to you soon. Well, good afternoon, everybody. And I did make that transition out of the bunker on the east side of Lake Geneva. And I am in the wonderful coffee cafe known as Niche, right?
Niche Cafe and Wine Bar.
Niche Cafe and Wine Bar. And you'll notice something more beautiful than me sitting next to me. And this is my new sidekick, Heather Ross. And she runs this coffee and wine bar, which I have always thought is the way a coffee shop should be. No question about it. That's the way it has to be. So, Heather, welcome. I appreciate you joining us today.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. I spend way too much time out here, but anyway, you're here at Niche. Tell me about you, because you're full of life. You notice this bow in her hair, and that's a frequent visitor almost every day, right?
It's true. It's true. I'm on year 18 of hairflowers.net. That's my company.
Spell that.
Hairflowers, HAIRFLOWERS, hairflowers.net.
.net, okay.
And yeah, year 18. My husband and I have been running it. He's been my programmer, and I've been an artist and designer. And
really?
Yeah, we sell on multiple platforms, and
really,
yeah, not only my website, but Etsy and Amazon and eBay, or not eBay right now.
So how did you get into
that? I was home on maternity leave.
Oh, Too much time in your hands.
And well, yeah, right. With 2 babies. No. I was on my maternity leave with 2 babies, but I was feeling really like I wanted to contribute financially, but I was home.
Okay.
And so that was hard for me. And so I'm an artist. And so I needed to somehow justify my expensive art habits, you know? So I thought, well, maybe I can make some things and sell some things like every artist dreams, you know? And so I started with flowers. I used my wedding flowers from my, whatever I had left over, laying around the house. And so I made a couple hair flowers and I sold them on Etsy. And that's
Wow.
It's honestly, it's just like kind of just taken off ever since.
So you do the manufacturing then?
I make them all. I do have a staff. I do have a team right now. Actually,
Really?
today I have 3 girls working on poinsettias for Christmas already.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal. I'm
Wow.
gearing up. It's what is it? St. Patty's Day, and I'm working on my poinsettia game.
Yeah, so what do they sell for? What are the range?
So I would say my lowest price flowers, maybe less than $10 and up to about 30 or 40.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So have you sold any movie stars? Have you gotten into that?
Countless.
Yeah, countless.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what
I do have one of my favorite customers is Rachel Grant, and she is a Bond girl, and she's done some work. She had a show on Bravo for a while, and she does travel.
This show today.
Uh-huh.
You obviously are bringing us good luck because in the middle of the night last night, I was out here at Niche till about 8 o'clock. About 2 o'clock this morning, I get an email from the company that takes us to the world. Of course, we have Roku channels, several that I've bored you with, showing you over along the way. But we've got, Green Adventures with Tara. We love her. She takes people all over the world from Mount Kilimanjaro to swimming with whales and sharks, and goes to Iceland, which is her favorite place. To our own show of Excited Minds Meeting. Of course, this show, Happy Hour Lifestyle Show, which we're going to switch into coffee and tidbits here in a minute. We're going to talk coffee and a couple of different things that go on here. And then later on, we're going to, about 10 to 15 minutes, Art Strickland, who is the president of the Texas Golf Writers Association, will be joining us. And we're going to talk about all things golf. Of course, today, the Tournament Players Championship is coming from Ponte Vedra, Florida, where it's a nice, beautiful, between 85, 90 degrees. And it is a gorgeous day down there. They're just shooting lights out. And it's one of my favorite tournaments. In 2019, we were there covering it for media, and it is one of the most spectacular places for golf. So we're going to talk about golf, and we're going to talk about Art's. He takes people all over the world to play golf at the most iconic places in the world to see if there's any spots available. Because he does take people to the Masters, and they rent a house and they have a lot of fun. That's upcoming. And then he goes to the US Open. He goes to these amazing places. Art has been a part of our team for nearly 10 years. So it'll be fun. But mainly we just want to talk. That segment will have some fun facts in it about the world of golf down there. And then travel, we're going to be talking about some of our upcoming people that are going to be getting their own Roku channel, which is going to be really, really fascinating. We're talking with a lot of race car drivers, dragsters, race tracks. We also have a couple. I can't wait to see this one. It's a very iconic international show where they do cooking with meat cleavers. I think it's almost like hand throwing axes in an arcade.
I wonder if that's how they caught the meat.
It's sort of like Men in Kilts. I'm not sure. You don't want to see what they're. You don't want the breeze to blow. So that one's going to be a lot of fun. And we have another bourbon show that's coming on where what they do is they sit around. All they do is they talk bourbon.
Yeah.
And
I could get into that.
Yeah, and the gentleman that's going to be coming on that brings in all kinds of bourbons and whiskeys, and then he hand blends them.
Nice.
And then he puts them back in the barrels, and they do that. So that's gonna be another one of the people that are coming on. And then of course there's just gonna be some details that are gonna be coming out here. But now let's just talk a little bit more about coffee. So I see you got some special delivery coffee.
I do. And
this
is what I made this morning.
Cast coffee from Coroco. Yeah, it is a company down in Sycamore that I'm very familiar with.
Yes, you are.
Brought it
Yes.
up. So tell me what you talk. I like that handcrafted bourbon coffee.
Okay, so
Okay.
now we haven't talked about this.
No.
So this morning I went ahead and I brewed myself some of this cast coffee.
Yeah.
And I picked the bourbon because, well, bourbon.
Gotcha.
And it sounded delicious. So I'm a French press girl. So I did make a little extra so I can share with my husband this morning because
Okay.
I thought it does he, you know,
Okay.
he should try this too. So I gotta say, first sip is black. I had to, I'm a purist. I had to
Of
know,
course,
you know,
absolutely. Yeah.
Um, but then I had to cream,
Yeah.
nothing like thick, rich cream in my coffee.
Got it.
I'll tell you, this coffee,
Yeah.
it hit and it hit good.
Yeah.
So I had my few, you know, first sips and I set it down. I went into the other room and I
Okay.
started getting ready for the day. And I gotta say, I started putting on my makeup and the coffee was calling me back. I had to go and get it. I couldn't let it sit and cool down. And no, I had to go and get it and drink it hot.
All right.
And I had to check the label because I wasn't sure if it just was so delicious and so good and it made me feel so great. Or was there an alcohol content in here?
Packed into every bean. We always say. No.
I am not gonna lie, I had to check the
Yeah.
label because I thought, hold on, this is really good.
Mass hysteria hits.
And yeah, and I just thought, whoa, wait a second, is it just the coffee or whatever?
I'm not saying it's
So
magical.
I'll tell you, I had to share, you know, I gave my husband some also, and he did the exact same thing. He had to check the label also. And then we laughed at each other for
So
both separately checking the label.
Can we drink and drive, officer?
Okay, now if I get to work and I'm like half drunk from Randy's coffee,
Yeah.
I'm blaming
Yeah. No, I think that was drinking and driving. I think you're safe with that coffee. I think it just is one of those things that maybe kicks off another area of your life that you go back to.
I am, you know, I have very little coffee every morning.
Yeah.
So for me, drinking a whole, I finished the cup. I finished the cup, and that's so unlike me, and it was that good.
It's good. When we this got introduced in 2018, we were doing a wine festival over in Geneva. And actually I brought it up to Lake Geneva to introduce it up here over on 3rd Street and over in the you know, they sell stuff and you know, you give out your first cup, you know, well, what do you think? You know, and you know, you don't know. I mean, you don't know, and everybody just loved it. So we did a whole bunch of we served over 20,000 cups just introducing it.
Fantastic. Here in Lake Geneva?
Nah, well, we did them every week.
Okay.
We did them from Chicago to Peoria to DeKalb, Sycamore, and then of course the festivals in Geneva. And people come over and they'd get a cup of coffee and they'd start putting product in it. And we'd say, well, you don't know what it tastes like. You're going to cover it up.
You have to taste it black.
So just drink it black. And I will tell you, those 20,000 cups, we might have had 20 people that wanted to put product in.
Yeah.
Of the 20 people, we had maybe 6 of them that continued just because that's what they're going to do.
Ritual, habit, right.
And but the rest of them, they just said, no, it was the most amazing thing that they had ever had.
It was.
It is just, it's beyond off the charts. And when we did in 2019, the last Festival of the Vine, we also have one that has wine goes with it. So
it's the red wine.
Yeah, the red wine. That there you go. Festival of the Vine over in Geneva. I think it was Kilwins, you know, they were there.
Okay.
And they came over and they said, here, I'm going to show you what we did with your coffee. And they brought over vanilla ice cream.
That's exactly what it needs.
Yeah. And they poured the coffee right over the top of it. And I mean, it was, and we were feeding everybody in the tents and they all came over and we were the happiest place in there. So it was a lot of fun.
I mean, coffee and wine mix, coffee and bourbon mix, it was astronomically delicious and it blew my mind. And yes, I did put cream in it, I will admit, but that's, you know, that's how I enjoy my coffee. So
so you can come maybe to Niche, you know, in the future if you want to sit and, you know, make it a product here. If you want to order it, you can go on Coroco.com. It's CRO, easily spelled. See, see, I'm
Oh,
not,
here we go.
yeah,
CORO
CO,
COCOFFEE.
CorocoCoffee.com.
CorocoCoffee.com.
And you can order it there. And but they have a lot of other. This is something that started in my family. It's actually my daughter-in-law started this company, and but coffee going back in our family. I was taught to drink coffee at the age of 5.
Oh my gosh, really?
My grandfather would bring me up to Lake Eganza, and in March when the old cottages didn't have any insulation. You'd wear your winter coat, and I basically would hand him the hammer, nails, whatever he was fixing up. But one morning he got up and he said, "Here, you want to get warm? Have a cup of coffee." I was 5.
Okay.
And so he started me drinking coffee, and Karen became a coffee roaster. They have a beautiful coffee roaster in Coroco that's one of the best in the country. And it is one of the things that is just one of the most fun things. I hope to come out here in the summer. I'll sit outside and roast coffee because by her being there and me being an interest in it, I get green beans from all over the world.
That's exciting.
And one of the things I'd like to do here just to have fun is serve the world's most expensive coffee.
I would also like that.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I would really like that. I think that's
Yeah.
really fascinating.
Yeah,
I'd like to know that.
So I was going to bring them out today, but I do have the beans.
Okay.
And I am ready to do some roasting this afternoon to test it. But this coffee will be, I'm not going to tell you where the coffee comes from because
Okay.
green beans come from all over the world.
That was my
Yeah.
first question.
won't tell you.
Fine. One step ahead.
When we learned how to roast, it's interesting how it works is, and this would be a lot of fun out here. You know how we did that bourbon tasting slurping?
I would love to have you roast some
Well,
coffee here.
We'll do it with coffee.
Yeah.
And then what you do, I call it coffee slurpings.
Okay. Like a tasting?
Yeah, it is. It's
What a coffee slurping.
Well, you get these little cups, they're about this big.
Okay.
And basically you pour in hot water and you stir in the roasted coffee on top.
Okay.
And then you teach people how to, just like we did with the bourbon. Just take a sip of it and then, I don't hate to say it, but you spit it out. And then you have little ratings and you don't tell them, what it is. Because when you get green coffee beans come in that are green. I don't know if you ever heard that term.
Yeah.
Okay. So when coffee beans, when you get them in raw or green or not uncooked, there are no instructions how to cook. There's no instructions how to roast them. Is it at 500 degrees, at 475, 525? Is it 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes? How much wind blows through? There is no, because
indoor, outdoor.
Yeah, well, you have to do it outdoors.
Oh, yeah, but there's no instructions.
No instructions. And so we have these little coffee roasters that when you roast them, it keeps the profile that you roasted them as.
Okay.
Because if you don't know what you did, how do you go back and recreate it?
Exactly.
Okay, so that roasted profile goes from like this computer, and then Karen has this big Loring roaster that she plugs in however she wants the beans to be roasted, or I'd say whatever. She goes into the big roaster for the same exact temperature, wind, time, and the whole thing, so it all stays consistent. But coffee beans, we went a visit to they're all imported, obviously. Coffee beans are grown sort of close to the equator around the world. And so there is one place in the United States out in Santa Barbara where the global warming has done enough to allow coffee beans to be grown. Okay, so we got that going for us. Yeah. I often say California is the craziest place in the world. You got the rainy season, the dry season, the fire season, the earthquake season.
It's true.
It's right.
True. Yeah.
You ever live there?
Well, I lived in Washington, which is close. We had similar seasons, and that fire season is
crazy.
Is a brutal,
At
scary.
least when we know that tornadoes coming, they give us a little warning.
Yeah, you do like that. The green sky is a tip too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting weekend now to really be completely chaotic. The grass is growing, the tulips are coming up. It's sort of nice and warm, and we have here in Lake Geneva a snowmobile
I know.
Extravagant.
Snowmobile Fest or whatever
Yeah.
is going on,
How's that
right?
working?
Now, I also thought I heard someone mention hail, maybe, you know?
I don't understand the snowmobile thing right now because I just drove by. There's people on the lake, and I called up my partner, and they said, "Just so you know, if you get a little heated up today, you can come up and watch a snowmobile extravaganza on the east side of town. People are fishing, and they just put in the diving piers,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
go swimming, take the heat of the day off."
it's crazy.
And
Yeah, my daffodils are almost bloomed.
isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's
And I
fantastic.
still don't understand how they're doing that snowmobile thing. There can't be any snow over there.
No, well, they've got the machines.
Yeah, but it can't. Well, how do you make it when it's 50
I
degrees?
don't know.
Here's your bottle of snow.
Yeah,
Take it
right.
home, please put it in the refrigerator. Bring it home.
DIY.
That is insane.
Yeah, it is
So-
really crazy.
So tell us about Niche. I mean, this is really a great place. I mean,
Thanks.
how long has it been here?
So, rumor has it, the building is about 3 years old, and we were open for just a little bit before COVID hit.
Really?
Yeah, and when COVID hit, we
lucky.
yeah, I know, right? Yay. So we were a brand new business. We shut down at that time and turned from a cafe to a wine bar, a cafe wine bar. So we added the bar, we added another couple wine dispensers, and we now have 40 wines on tap.
Wow.
They are pressurized and temperature controlled so that every pour is like the first, and they stay delicious. And we try to offer small vineyards, small batch wines, growers that are made organic or say women owned, or just really unique stuff that you're not going to find on the shelf anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what we aim for. And we taste everything that goes in the dispensers. And
Of course you do.
yeah, well, I mean,
Almost every day.
actually, no, actually, there's a, we've a pretty good process to get the wines up here. And I'm proud of the choice that we have, the selections that we have. And so we opened the bar then just last January. So we've only been technically about 14 months.
Wow.
And yeah, so we're the new kid on the block in Lake Geneva, but we're about 14 months in. We do live music on the weekends. We're wine bar, cafe. We homemade sandwiches and flatbread pizzas and charcuterie board. That's fantastic. And
And
yeah,
you do parties and
we do parties.
the parties interrupt me. I'm working on it.
But if the parties get too loud, then you can't work.
Can't work.
Hold interviews in
Yeah.
here all the time, right?
Yeah, I started working on my book that we got done that I completed about my son. By the way, you can go to Amazon. It's called Adam's Miracle.
It's a fantastic read.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Highly
for that.
recommend.
Yeah, thank you. It's a true story.
Bold.
Yeah, well, it's a true story. It goes from the beginning of an episode of ironcephalitis for my baby on a Saturday night to in the middle of it where I was told to let him go, and then at the end we got him home. And then if you want to read the day-to-day saga, it
is a truly
Yeah.
inspirational story,
Yeah.
and it really moved me. And I really appreciated you sharing it with me. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that I know about it.
well,
That's what Adam's Miracle.
Adam's Miracle. Yeah, Adam is fully recovered. He survived. He's a assistant golf pro now down at Royal Fox Country Club. He just joined the staff of TaylorMade, which is a big golf company, which fortunately for him, that's the clubs that he loves and he plays. So I had his staff in yesterday, and he's a really good kid, and we're very blessed. But it's a faith-based story that sometimes you just, I didn't write the book till 15 years after it happened. And it never left me. And a lot of people asked about it, but I came out here, how I started a Niche. I just come out and we'd write and edit and write and edit. And it was nice and quiet, and yeah, Heather was great. But this coffee shop I always wanted to have my own. And I always said, if you combine coffee and wine and music, it'd be a hit. And I mean, and it is out here. I mean, you guys have parties and you have, a great, like last night, just, people start talking to other people and you have a lot of fun, right?
Yeah. It was really interactive last night. It was really fun. It was.
It's
We
good.
had
I
a
think
good
it's gonna
time.
be again tonight,
Yeah,
because music coming tonight.
We do. We've Friday night, 6:00, 6 to 8. Tonight we have a little local legend. We have Tom Stanfield. He plays the Abbey, plays a couple places around here.
Mhm.
He's little jazz, little show tunes, maybe a little fun. He covers a lot of stuff. I even heard him cover Led Zeppelin once.
Wow.
on the piano, and it was maybe the coolest thing I'd ever heard.
Wow.
So Tom is a very talented entertainer, and he gets the crowd going, and he always brings people, and it is an interactive evening for sure. So it's not one to hole up on a computer. No writing books tonight, Randy.
No, I'm done. This has been a long week. This has been.
So you're gonna use a good party
I'm gonna
tonight.
use a good party tonight.
Stick around for some Italian wine.
Not gonna be a lot of Italian. It's gonna be around the world wine for Randy tonight. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah, we have a little history of. So sometimes you see me wearing a sweater. It says boy on it. That was my grandfather's name. But a little history to that. We're still researching it, but there's a Cafe de Foy in Paris, France.
Okay.
Still in existence. It's a true story. You can Google it. And back in 1787, I think it was. Back then, little history in coffee shops in France. Coffee shops were politically oriented. People go in there and they spout political. In London, coffee shops were finance. So it's like bankers, and, lawyers and whatever they get together.
Kind of like here.
Yeah, France is a little bit more, political. So true story. And again, Google it. A young man stood up on a table, said "Vive la France," and that's where the French Revolution started. In Cafe de Foy. Yeah, no, that's serious. And that cafe today is extremely popular. And guess what they do? They serve coffee and wine and spirits. Weird, So your name is close. You just have to change it, to a proper name. Niche de Foy,
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
But I just thought it was interesting. I have written to him, and when we get there. So when it comes to travel, Heather is going to be
must be phone time.
Yeah.
Just grab that.
So he says he's logging into the meeting now, and we're all good. Strickland sometimes has a little bit of trouble getting logged into the meetings, but he'll be here soon. Not a problem. But anyway, Niche. I was going to say Niche, but Niche is a really cool place. It's right at the exit at Route 50 and 67, but right in front of one of the greatest golf complexes in Geneva, Lake Geneva. So anyway, here we go with Mr. Art. And have a power outage now, do you, Art?
No, nope. Got a little throat outage with some congestion, but other than that, I'll live.
Oh man, well, congratulations. I actually have a new she'll be back here in a minute, but a new sidekick that's going to be joining us. We've been on for about 30 minutes already. I'm at a coffee shop and a wine bar called Niche. And it's a very, very cool place where I hang out and write books and do all those things that Art Strickland does. Well, nice talking to you, Art. See you later. Oh, wait a minute. There he is. He's coming back.
There we go.
Well, I'm sorry you're sick, Art. Nice seeing you again. We're back up and running again with the Happy Hour Lifestyle Show and travel and trips. So we want to talk to you about a couple different things in the world of art. I've already done your legacy of book writing and had a beautiful picture up already. And
yeah.
Your history of writing. So how come you're not down at the Players Championship? What's going on with that?
Not my territory. Somebody else's territory, not mine.
Oh man, I thought you covered the world, Art.
I'll be there for the Masters. I got the Masters covered.
Now do you have? So Art has got this great website called the Art of Golf Travel. And I know we want to talk about where you take everybody around the world. Have you got your Masters trip all booked up and ready to go?
Yep, we got a bunch of first timers coming. So they're very excited. Got the tickets, got the dinners, got everything set.
Man, that's awesome. Some year I threaten I am going to be healthy enough and wealthy enough to join the great Art going down there. It's been a long year, and we're finally back up and running. And just to let you know, in the world of my son, Adam, he just became part of the TaylorMade staff yesterday. So he's
good.
Yeah, so he's off and running. Got a great job working for a great country club up here in Illinois that you'll enjoy coming up and playing someday, because it's where they hold the Illinois Open many times. It's called Royal Fox Country Club.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. So anyway, what do you think about what's going on in the world of golf? I heard they're going to call you up and have you put the all the guys back together, mend all the wounds in golf, and take care of that situation.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, Randy. Uh, but I think the PGA Tour realized that fight and live is a losing battle
Yeah.
with the money they have and the swag they have and the people they have. Merger is the only way to go. You can't fight them. You don't have the bandwidth to do it.
Yeah. I just, for me, yeah, I come from that old school. I would have just said, you know what, you're out. We're just going to suffer. We're going to shrink you're done. And when you see it just irritates me. I'm very much on the side of the PGA Tour. I mean, I just think it's horrendous what happened. There's so many thoughts that I have. It used to be I tried to get and play and get up, and I wasn't good enough to get the PGA Tour, but I miss playing. I throw the balls down in the dirt and try to qualify, and there was a path to, playing the greatest tour in the world, PGA Tour.
Right.
And now it just is like, you get there and they're talking about shrinking fields, and Rory comes out with his, we got to have smaller fields. And yeah, I don't know. I love the PGA Tour, and I love this weekend. What a beautiful days it's been already.
Yeah. And a great leaderboard too. Jordan, Scotty Scheffler's right up there, and Rory and Xander Schauffele, and a really great course. Have you had a chance to play that course, Randy?
I haven't. I'm sure you have, right?
I did play it once, yeah. And, in 17, which is I didn't realize there's water in almost every hole, but 17 is the one they talk about. And my caddy told me that day, if you raised all the balls from the water to the surface, you could walk from the tee box to the green and never get your feet wet. That's how many balls there are down there.
I had that statistic. I looked it up yesterday. As a matter of fact, the amount of golf balls hit in every year to that area between 100 and 120,000 golf balls.
That's right. Yeah.
It's just amazing, So Alice Dye did a good job in the back of her napkin and designed that. But I thought Mr. Nicholas had some interesting thoughts about it. He said, he liked the hole, but he thought it might be better placed, earlier in the round, that type of thing.
It's perfect where it is. You saw he was on the first tee greeting all the players. And see that, I think that's what these whip guys don't realize. It's about legacy and not about money. Jack Nicklaus is going to be a legend forever because he made his legend on the PGA Tour. John Rahm is only going to be known as a guy that had some talent, won a Masters and U.S. Open. That's it. You're never going to remember John Rahm. Same thing for Sergio. Same thing for Phil Mickelson. Legacy lasts forever.
I couldn't agree with you more, and that's what I said. I mean, I just think sometimes when you go get singed, you try to merge with these people. There's so many new stories that always come up in the world of the PGA, always. And in the bigger fields, you'll have somebody, Corey Connors is a great story. Corey has won the Valero Open twice, and wasn't he a Monday qualifier if I remember correctly? He had
I think you're right. No, I think you're right.
And it's those stories that the young guys that come along. You have an amateur that wins, this year, and you have a 70-foot putt up in Canada that now has made the Canadian Open a legend everywhere. Who doesn't want to watch the Canadian Open from now on? And Adam gets tackled full force, watching that ball go in. And you're not going to find, a trophy. You're right. A trophy has a legacy to it. And I've been doing a lot of reading, and you probably know everything there is about Ben Hogan.
Yeah.
But you read, 1953, what went on in his world after the accident. I mean, the passion to get back to the PGA Tour and then to play at that level is just, nonsensical. Come on, Heather.
Okay.
You got to meet Mr. Art here. Because this is he's dying. So this is Art Strickland.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Art.
This is Heather Ross. Yeah, I always get her name. I always call her Rob because that's her husband's name. Yeah.
Ross,
But,
it's an
yeah.
easy one to remember.
But this is Art Strickland. Meet Art. He's been forever. He's a legend in his own mind. I mean, he's a legend in all the time. And comes from Texas, but everybody knows him. And Heather is also, I met her in the shop, Art, when I was writing my book. Now I just hang out and live with her.
Yeah, he just hangs out to, bug me all day, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
So she's going to be part of, because we have a major expansion going on right now in all our Roku channels and going around the world. So Art, stay awake. You're going to be in 73 countries tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we want to talk about your trips. You're going to be okay, Art? We need to
If I don't die first.
buddy. Huh?
Yeah, I think I'll make it. Hey, Randy, let me ask you about one whip golfer. Very interesting. Anthony Kim. What you think of Anthony Kim's return?
I think it finally gave somebody for Phil to beat. I think the only reason they brought him back so they could be, I mean, he was a great story back then, but they paid him $7.5 million.
Right.
And I just think it's a shame. I mean, it's just filling a roster. And for me, when it comes to the world, I wrote an article about the world ranking points, why they can't give them to live.
Right.
They could sit and maneuver those. Let's say you had 3 guys that were close to, being in the top 50. They could have a Monday meeting or a Sunday meeting and say, the owner comes in and says, you take a fall, you take a fall, you take a fall, and then we'll have 5 guys in the top 30. They could really maneuver that. But when you bring in an Anthony Kim, it just, it thins the field out. And,
Yeah.
he was an interesting story, but he looks a little different. So I don't know what's going on there.
I thought it was interesting, Randy. He shot 78, 74, 74, comes back with a 75, then shot a 65. Last score was 65. But it's just really hard to be away for 12 years. His last round of golf that anybody saw in public was at TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney. And he was out for 12 years. Come back incredibly difficult. But whip golf's going to be both in Dallas and Houston this year. Interested to see how he does.
Now, do you go to those events just to watch, Art?
I have. I went up to Tulsa and watched it.
Yeah. I went to the one they had in Illinois for a bit. Honestly, I got bored of the tears. They didn't have anybody there, and it looks like what it is. It's an exhibition. But anyway, let's get off that topic. Let's talk about the art of golf travel before we have to call an ambulance.
Right. That's a good idea.
What's going on for the next 12 months? Because we're all about travel and having fun, Art.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you already mentioned we're going to the Masters in a couple of weeks and some first time guys. And Randy, nothing better than taking first time guys to the Masters because it's truly a Disneyland for adults.
Yeah. Just there's pure whiskey in there.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Bourbon
Yeah.
and coffee.
No.
And then in May, we're going to Scotland. We're going to do 10 days in Scotland.
Oh,
May.
Wow.
So
Yeah. Hope you're better.
Scotland, May. Then we're going to U.S. Open in June, Pinehurst. Going to play and stay in Pinehurst. Pebble Beach is July, into July. And going to the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs in August. The Broadmoor.
That's beautiful.
And then we're going to Bandon Dunes October 1 through 4. So great trip.
Wow. So you're booked up for what, about 8 trips this year?
All the details are on www.theartofgolftravel.com.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, let's check back. I hope
All right. I'll be
I
better
appreciate you
next time.
bucking up today and you guys, getting through. You're not feeling good, obviously, Art. So
Well, we had to cancel a couple times. So I'll be better next time, but theartofgolftravel.com, all the details. I'll see you soon, Randy.
all right. Well, we'll be back next week. We're on every Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, whatever you and I can do. So I hope you're better.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Art. Anyway, that's Art Strickland out of Texas and the Art of Golf Travel. And obviously Art's feeling a little bit under the weather today, but you go to the Art of Golf Travel, all of his trips are there. The trips are iconic. Art has the ability to know everybody in the world because he truly is. He writes for Sports Illustrated, a lot of different golf articles, and a lot of just an incredible man. I'm sorry he was sick, but at least he showed up today. We had a hard time doing that. So anyway, let's talk about what, Heather, excites you. What in our world, we have two major websites. One's called the Distillery Channel. Okay, the other one's called Live Eco Style. They're sort of similar, but very different. Live Eco Style is the top of that tagline says about all the good things in life, meaning travel, dining, sipping,
All the good things.
all the good things in
Right,
life,
right.
health, recreation, family, and spas.
Love it.
Okay.
You really can't beat that. That's a fantastic list.
So if we were to, let's say, have a trip that was going to a place called Weekender Hotels in upstate New York, and you would like to join us out there to help us do a few segments?
Oh my gosh, I would absolutely love to join you
That'd be
out there to do.
awesome.
I have never made it to upstate New York
Never
yet.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Oh, you got, and we'll be pulling it up here when I get this into post-production, but Weekender Hotels is absolutely sensational. It's in the north part of New York.
Okay.
I think it's about 700 or 800 miles from here, probably an easy drive, but it's beautiful lakes, mountainous area, and gorgeous. But we have, if people go to liveecostyle.com, and you see you have a few things up there called the Eco Minute.
Okay.
We had trips that CEOs, basically we deal only with the upper echelon of these companies, but they're companies like Polar Travel.
Nice.
Take a cruise to South America or North America. I mean, that's two different companies. One is called Uncruises. He goes to the Arctic. He has a really funny itinerary. He goes to the Arctic or Hawaii.
Oh, that's okay.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. You know, why bother with anything
Yeah.
in between?
Now, when the Polar cruise line, that one goes down to Antarctica and they
Oh
start.
my goodness.
Yeah,
That's
and
a serious cruise.
That is a different kind of cruise ship. And you can
that's
get in
something.
little dinghies and run around in the water and go on ice. And
That is really
penguins.
cool. Play with the penguins. It sounds pretty great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like
And
that a lot.
Tara, I said of Green Adventure, she goes all over the world. So last year she went to Mount Kilimanjaro.
That's so cool.
You don't want to hear about that. That's an all-women's trip.
Even better. Like really.
And they have 50 backpackers and donkeys to support the maybe 12 women that are on the trip.
Well, I mean, we gotta bring stuff.
Makeup. Yeah.
Makeup.
Lingeries, nylon, all that stuff.
You know,
So
things.
yeah, well, it's like food tents and trying to avoid lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of the climbing at night in the dark.
Tell me why do they do that?
I don't know and I don't care.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, that seems like kind of a dangerous
No,
thing.
when I talked to Tara about it, she said no, they get up like at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
And these are not like paved pathways. You're up at elevation, so you're now in low oxygen.
Oh, that's so risky.
Rocky paths.
There's got to be a reason because
to see sun up.
oh,
There you go.
That's the reason.
And I
that's
can't remember
totally
how far it
worth
was, but it was miles. It wasn't feet. It was
Honestly,
incredible.
totally worth it.
Like Mount Kilimanjaro, I
Yeah.
had one of my dear friends had gone there. He had done it twice. Is Shelley Duvall's mom.
Okay.
Name was Bobby Crawford, and she loved Africa, and she loved Mount Kilimanjaro, and she had the same experience. And it was like what you see in the movies. I
Wow.
mean, you got the backpackers, you got the guys that set you up every night, cook your food, and have your own tent, and you don't want to have a lion, tiger, or bear might cozy up to you, during the day. But they, honestly, Tara said that
Honestly,
they
yeah.
don't really worry about it that much.
Right.
But she got done with that trip last year, flew home, and then did a 500-mile bike ride across Iowa. Why not? Just
Why
because
not?
She can.
I love that. I love that. I wish I had it just because you can, right?
Sign up for
I
that.
like that.
So, and then from there, she goes to Iceland to recover.
Iceland is definitely on my bucket list. The Northern Lights is I've only seen them once in my life, but I hope to get to Iceland
Yeah.
or Alaska.
Where would be the one place you want to go?
So Thailand has always been on my list.
Really?
Yeah.
Art actually, we know, strangely, he did. We met the head of Thailand tourism. We knew him.
Oh,
So I
of
actually,
course you do, right?
his name, I have to be very, very careful in saying it. It's Kitty Hong, Pong.
Okay.
Okay, and he is the head of Thailand tourism.
Okay.
And Art and I have met him at the PGA Merchandise Show every year. And
Nice.
actually, Art accepted a tourism trip with them to go see Thailand golf. You know, crazy around the
Nice.
world. So those are the kind of. So what was fascinating to you about Thailand? Why Thailand?
My husband had a job offer one time out there, so I was looking into just living there, honestly, because that's what we like to do. We like to live where we travel. I don't know. We're not very,
No?
I don't know. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
then you can experience the,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So we were looking into moving into Thailand for a little while,
Wow.
and it just the water, the jungle, it's seems so, I don't know. I mean, you're still near enough to mainland, but it's far enough that it's just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It just looks so tropical and beautiful, and just everything about it just seemed neat. And it was kind of not like it wasn't like a typical vacation spot. I mean, maybe it is, but you know,
I don't think.
yeah, it wasn't a typical vacation
No.
spot. And so for that, I some of the hotels I was looking at, you know, they're only like $13 a day, and
Really?
you know, 5-star hotels. And I don't know, it was appealing to me. And you know, if I can get one of those you know, some kind of a hut over the water situation going. That was what I was looking at.
Yeah, there's some places down in Bali, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Absolutely.
They have some nice little huts over the water, if you mind.
Yeah, Bali, Fiji, those are definitely spots
Yeah.
that we've always had.
Where's number one place you'd want to go? Is Thailand the number one?
It's the number one, but it was definitely, I don't know that I can choose a number
Have
one.
you ever been to Europe?
I have never been to Europe. I have never been to Europe, and yeah, I don't know, somewhere tropical. We have a tropical vacation destination we haven't picked yet, but
Okay.
it's on board for this year. We're hoping
Yeah,
to get somewhere tropical this year.
Yeah, well, we have invitations now that COVID is over and we're getting so to go into why people are inviting us. This
Yeah.
is why I'm
Why?
tired of it.
Oh.
No, not that nice, you know.
That's not true. He's
No.
a really nice guy.
So the fun thing we did, you do media trips, so you get invites because people like exposure for where they're at.
Sure.
So we had early on back in 2014 an invite on Maui. Because we're equal-minded, I had been to Maui many times. We knew some people, we made some phone calls, and we get over there and we're doing research on, because Live Eco Style. People think Live Eco Style is about global warming. It is not. It's none of that stuff. Live Eco Style came about because I took my kids to Hawaii many years,
Okay.
and you could do it cheaper than going to like Disney World for sure.
I definitely would
You know.
prefer it.
You know, or cheaper than going to Missouri or even was up here. And people said, there's no way. Yeah, there is. There are places.
How?
Yeah, seriously, you can stay. There are condos you can stay in that run about, back then it was $195 a night. They're beautiful, 3-bedroom. You could
Not
cook
bad.
right on a golf course. But in Maui, all the beaches are open to anybody. I mean, you can go to where, you know, all the stars play, you know, or Jennifer Aniston, you know, wears a bikini and they lay at the beach, and movie stars and athletes. We were there one year, right on the golf course. And of course, the NBA season, it's in that playoff era. And every time you'd see a team lose, the next day, not all of them, but basketball players be showing up on the golf course.
Of course they would be. Now they have free time,
Yeah.
right?
And one day I was sitting there looking at David Robinson. It was tall and he was teeing off in front, and I just wanted to go play. And I said, hey, you mind if I play in with you? Super nice guy. We played golf the rest of the day. And it's just it's an open, great, wonderful place. And you can go to the beach. And I learned how to spearfish and do all these things. So when I took my kids in the 90s every year, I realized that we could lay on the beach, and if you want to smell good, you go swim in the ocean.
Absolutely.
But the people in the pools, if you want to be chlorinated, you go swim in the pools.
Right.
Now, if you swim in the pools, you don't get eaten by sharks. Go to the ocean, you have that chance. It's just a little bit more fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm into that. I
Yeah.
like that.
But it doesn't happen very often, but the fish are beautiful to snorkel, and you go with the little kids, and they have a thing called Baby Beach on Maui, that the water literally you can have babies play in it. They can sit in it, you know, in their diapers. They have these little rafts that, you know, you can look through, you can lay them on their belly and they can see all the beautiful fish, you know, swimming under there. You see stars that you can't imagine seeing, you know, here in our environment. You can walk in the woods and get bananas. Of course, they're organic because they're just growing everywhere. And all of those things, every year I realized they were just clean. I mean, it's just, you know, and to me, it meant eco-mindedness a little bit different, you know,
Mhm.
and I didn't even know what it meant back then,
Okay.
but we knew that global eco traveling was a thing, that if people could push a button and make any travel, eco-minded, whatever that meant.
A little greener.
Well, we had to define it. Okay, I'm not going to go into that right now, but
That's a whole nother story. Isn't
it
it?
is. It really, it's a big, it take an hour.
Or
Well, it's a lifetime in our world,
Mhm.
but we created eco certification online that someday we're going to open back up again. But the thing is, on Maui, is when you get there, we boiled it down. All we did was take carry on,
Okay, that's all I do too.
and
Travel light.
we didn't, you know, every year we left, we knew all we ever wore were swimsuits and
Sure.
a nice shirt, pair of shorts, and something to wear on a plane. And once you get there, then you live as they live,
Right.
and it became embraced, you know, by the people that live there.
I love
So
that.
we'd go to dinner, you know, with the people, excuse me, that live on the island. And after many, many trips, we went over there on the strip. So the funny thing, a little short story, it's we get over there and we realize reading there are 3 different places that claim to have the #1 chef.
Okay.
So what a great scam. Let's call them up and say, you claim to have the #1 chef. You know?
#1 for their place, maybe.
No. They said they had the #1 chef, you know. So we said, all right, that's great. We're doing a story on the #1 chefs of Maui.
Okay. The #1
Yeah,
chefs.
we're gonna try to find out. And they all 3 invited us for dinner
Okay.
at their expense.
Okay.
Take the film crew along. We sat there and had these huge meals. One time at one of the hotels.
I think you're running a good scam on that
It's
one.
a great scam.
Yeah. Let's find the #1
We learned to
chef in
perfect it
Maui.
worldwide, is what I'm trying to say.
Sounds like a really good plan.
We didn't have that many viewers back then, but you know, we had a nice website. But they were like 5-6 hour dinners. The food was amazing. We'd thank them for everything. And then as it turned out, we went up to this little town. They have have people on the beach where everybody goes on vacations. But then you go up country, up in the mountains, not mountains, but hills of mountains. And there's a town called Kula, and we went up there to a place called the Lavender Farm. Acres of lavender.
Love it.
There
That
was-
smelled amazing.
There was Ocean Vodka was up there, a distillery that we
Okay.
visited too long.
Okay. Well, you know.
Oprah lived up there. Clint Eastwood, I think, lived up there. I mean, there was just a lot of people live, you know, up in that area, and they went to this. Honestly, this diner was a converted feed store that were like oil, you know, it's just old. They go in there and they had a Coke machine there, and it's steel tables. But then we got the food, and the food was beyond good, and it was cheap.
Which,
Cheap, I mean,
right?
it's like, you know, for 2 people to eat, it was $35. That is not the way it is in Maui, down in the lower coast. So I said, could I meet the chef? Because I mean,
Okay.
the best food we had. We had these other 3 meals, and the gentleman comes out, and he became a really good friend. So it turned out to be his name was Luciano Zanin.
Okay.
And I sat down with him, and of course, as I do, I always ask questions.
Right.
And I said, tell me your story. Well, he was an immigrant, came to America with 75 cents in his pocket. He became a chef, learned that world. He ended up being a chef for 5 presidents.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
In the White House?
Yeah.
Wow.
Those presidents. Prince and Princess of Brunei, Prince and Princess of Japan, got tired of being a chef like that, came to Maui, bought this restaurant, and he sits and works 7 days a week in cooking his food. And the food is sensational.
That's fantastic.
And I said, man, I wish I had my camera on. And he said, well, I don't tell that story to anybody.
Hmm.
And I said, oh, geez. You know, he said, well, if you ever come back. And I said, oh, we'll be back in 6 weeks. Because we were doing a media trip. So 6 weeks later, we got that on camera. That story is amazing.
That's awesome. That's a really cool story.
And it turns out that the 3rd time we went, 6 weeks after the 2nd time, his man Friday tells us that he loads all the net jets for the private people, cooks all for them for their expensive food.
Uh-huh.
And and I know we're gonna come to an end here.
Yes, I.
No, that's no problem. But what happened is, turns out he's the #1 chef in the world. No, true story.
Yeah, that's
So-
a good story. right
Anyway,
there.
so that's the end of, yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up. Heather's got to get to work here at the coffee shop. But we want to thank Art. I hope he gets well for joining us, and Heather Ross, who's going to be part of our eco-minded lifestyle team. And we're happy to have her joining us. And we're going to be traveling all over the world. Be sure to go to our Roku channel. You can just go to Roku and just do a search for Excited Minds Media. That's our company. We have about 30 to 40 different individual productions on there, and we're growing. We're now in 23 countries, growing to 70 countries next week. Roku has about 85 million households, and Amazon Fire, we're on there too. But more about us going forward. This is for Little Uncle Randy. I want to thank Heather and Art and the world of golf for giving us what we have, and never forget, it's all about what God has given us, and always give him thanks for your blessing. Anyway, have a good day. Bye-bye.